Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Long Dark, and on this episode I am going to be covering the challenge called Whiteout. Whiteout is a objective where you have to retrieve all the items listed in your journal before a massive blizzard storm hits in 30 days. So you're just basically stocking up for the massive storm which is going to hit. So when you start this challenge, you spawn inside the Quantic gas station. You have a bedroll and some low-grade clothing and just some other tools, items, some low stuff. The gas station is practically empty. There's no items on the shelves or anything, but I do recommend checking some of the drawers. Even though it says search, there's some stuff in there. You might find stuff like a hatchet or a hacksaw, just a couple extra tools, so it's worth just checking the drawers and the toolboxes. The gas station is a very good building. In some boxes, a lot of people use this as a home base because of the room, a bed, a fire barrel, a couple crafting benches and a lot of storage room, and it's located with a lot of other accessibilities with buildings and ice fishing, so it's a good spot. The challenge in this is the weather gets harsher and hostile, and animals spawn in greater numbers and are a bit more prone to attacking you. I must note that you don't need to survive the whole 30 days, you just need to collect all the items that are listed in the journal, store them in the gas station, and the challenge is complete. Okay, so here is the journal, and these are the items listed that we need to collect. Now what I've done is I've done easy, medium, hard, the stuff that I found which was easy, medium and harder, and how easy it is to collect the items. So I'm just going to briefly go through each item to just give you a bit of an idea what you need to do. Okay, first thing is sticks. You need to collect 50 sticks. Pretty easy, sticks are scattered everywhere, and that's it. So as you travel the land, make sure you just pick up some sticks. Try avoid breaking the branches early on, because obviously if it's cold and you haven't got the best clothing, you're going to freeze quicker. You don't really need to break branches on this, sticks are everywhere, pick them up. 2 or 3 runs as you travel everywhere else to get all the other items, because one stick is 0.15 kilograms and they do build up in time, so I'd say do it in 2 to 3 runs. 25 tinder. Tinder's easy as well. You can either break the branches, which I wouldn't do because obviously the sticks go towards another item in the journal. There's a lot of cardboard boxes in the gas station which you can use to break down for tinder, and if you see any newsprint or newsprint rolls in the houses you loot, you can break them down into tinder. Like I said, newsprint rolls are the best because if you break them down, harvest them, you get 4 tinder out of it. So it's a no-brainer really. Bandages. Bandages can be found throughout drawers and houses, medical catches. So I wouldn't worry too about bandages. You will find them eventually, and you are going to be using them because chances are you're going to get attacked by wolves, anything like that. So worst case scenario, if you are struggling, you can craft bandages with cloth. And cloth is easy to get because you're going to find a lot of clothes which you can break down and use that cloth, or the curtains in the houses. So you don't worry too much about bandages, you can craft them, worst case scenario. 25 matches. Now matches is probably going to be the first thing you're going to complete because matches are really common, you are going to find them. It doesn't matter about the wood matches or the cardboard matches as long as you just have 25 matches. You can find them everywhere, in houses, to cars, to just practically anywhere. You will find them as you search for other stuff. 25 litres of potable water, 6.6 gallons. Now my best tip is, as you search through the houses, you can access the toilets, which I know that sounds a bit rank, but if you open the toilets you can collect almost 1.5 litres to 2 litres of potable water as you search throughout the region. And you are going to be drinking a lot of water as well, but like I said, water's easy to get. It just saves time making fires really, but worst case scenario, you can boil the snow. You can melt the snow and then boil it and you get potable water. So if you're struggling, you got a fire barrel in the gas station which you can use. Right, now we're on the medium objectives. Right, the first things first is lanterns. Lanterns are, I say, the easiest tool to find. There's a load around houses, but the trick is not to use them because they hold the kerosene, which you need for later. You need 5 litres of kerosene, basically the fuel for the lantern, so you gotta try and avoid using them. So what I advise you to do, once you found your first lantern, stick it in a locker, and any more you find, just salvage, because you will get the kerosene, but we'll touch kerosene a bit more in the hard category. So lanterns located practically everywhere, in houses, on shelves, coal mines, so you will eventually find one. 20 softwood hardwood. Now what these are, it's the cedar firewood and the fir firewood. They are the only two that come under softwood hardwood. Fire logs are not included in this. You can find these by harvesting tree limbs on the ground, or you can find them in houses next to fireplaces. A tip is avoid breaking down the branches until you find a hatchet, because you can break down tree limbs with hatchets and hacksaws. The issue is with a hacksaw, it takes an hour and a half, while the hatchet only takes 45 minutes to break down. So a little bit of math here, 7 tree limbs with a hacksaw will take 10.5 hours. With a hatchet it takes 5 hours and 15 minutes, half the time. The only reason why I just pointed this out, the more time you're outside, the more chance of you getting cold, and it just, if it's a race against time, if you're really struggling and every hour is important to you, then use the hatchet instead of the hacksaw. Reclaimed wood can be found practically everywhere, already broken down, or you can break small crates down, chairs, tables, shelves. Some of the smaller items you can break down with your bare hands, but obviously it's more time consuming, or you can break it with a heavy hammer or a hatchet. So again, it's just time consuming. Make sure you got the right tools to break them down. Pretty easy this task is, but I'd avoid until you find the hatchet to break them down instead of breaking it down with your bare hands. Rifles. You need to find one rifle and store it in the garage. Rifles can be tricky to find, it's more based on luck. You spawn in Coastal Valley and there are 6 spawn points for guns, so you should find one. A couple of them is the Coastal House on Jackrabbit Island, and another one on the other island, Homestead by a Frozen Corpse. And possible spawn at the abandoned lookout just above you from your town you spawn in. But I was unfortunate and I found mine in Pleasant Valley Homestead in the study. I was so unlucky with finding the tool items. It's a tricky one, it made me sweat a little bit because I also want to use the gun to defend myself. And it took me a while to find it. And on top of that, you need 10 rifle cartridges, which you want to use them to defend yourself. Bullets can be found few and far between, just search everywhere. As you start searching houses, you will find them eventually. My best advice is to you, once you find those 10 bullets though, just store them in the Quonset garage and don't use them. And any other bullets you can find, it's fair game. But my best advice is save those bullets for a bear, and I'll come on to why save it for a bear later. Okay, now we're on the hard objectives. This is stuff I really struggled with on my first playthrough. Other people might not find it as hard, but it was for me. Now, believe it or not, the hatchet was really hard for me to find. I searched everywhere and I was so unfortunate I couldn't find it. This is why I saved breaking down fir firewood and cedar firewood and reclaimed wood, because I wanted to hatchet to save the time. So until I found the hatchet, I couldn't break down the wood. And I just found it by luck. Literally, it's just luck where it is. And I found mine in Pleasant Valley at this picnic spot next to a dead corpse. And I was like, of all the places, I would never have thought it would be there. Right, 5 litres of kerosene, 1.3 gallons. To me, this was literally the hardest thing for me to find on my checklist. I kept hunting for kerosene, but I was using more food than I was finding the kerosene, so it was just frustrating. So in the end, I salvaged what I could with lanterns to get the kerosene, and I found a little bit of kerosene here and there in houses and stored all that. but my best trick for you is to go ice fishing in one of those fishing huts. The fishing huts are literally right next to the garage as well, so that was really handy. And what I did, I just kept on catching fish and cooking the fish. Once you cook the fish, you get a little bit of kerosene. The small fish, the rainbow trouts, you get like 0.02 litres, but the coho salmon produce almost 0.20 litres. So eventually I built enough kerosene, and the fish was food for me, so I wasn't using up any food I was storing, and it was just the fish I was eating from once I cooked it, and I got the kerosene, so it balanced each other. So there it is, guys. Worst case scenario. Keep an eye out for lanterns, break them down. Don't use the kerosene, any lantern oil you'll find around houses. And if you're really struggling, just go some ice fishing and cook that fish, and you slowly but surely build up enough kerosene. And if you get hungry, you just eat your cooked fish. Winner. 15 days of food. I found this was the hardest thing for me, and the reason why is because I killed a few wolves and got the meat from the wolves, and I thought, oh, I'm doing well here, I've got several days of supply of food, and eventually my wolf meat went off, and then I lost a few days, and I was panicking, shit, what do I do now? How do you know what 1 day of food is? It's 3,000 calories, so you're going to be eating the calories, and then you need extra to store. That's why I always found it the hardest, and it was the last thing for me to tick off. So my best advice is to you, anything you find that has a calorie intake, pop, tins of food, whatever, just store it all, and if you can, don't touch it. Live off fresh meat, cook it, whatever, because the tin food has a longer lifespan compared to fresh meat, cooked meat, etc. So once you've ticked everything off and you've got food left, and if you got a few bullets spare, this is what I did. I practically just went hunting and killed any animals I saw. So what I did, if you want, kill a few wolves. You don't get as much meat from wolves, but you do defend yourself against them, so it's a free meat. Or kill deers, you get a bit more meat from deers, but if you're feeling really brave, there's a couple bear spawns around the garage, and if you're lucky, there's going to be a bear around the garage. I know it sounds a bit crazy, but, and I gotta admit, I almost died when I did it. The wolf attacked me, torn up. It was a really big gamble because I could have lost all my hard work. But let me just explain to you why you should go for a bear. If you kill a bear and you skin it, you have 30 kilograms of raw meat, and 1 kilogram of raw meat consists of 900 calories. So if you times 1 kilogram, which is 900 calories, by 30, that's 27,000 calories. That's 9 days worth of food. That's 1/3 of your food count you need to complete the objective. And by that time, you should have enough food stored in your garage. So that's my best advice is to you guys. If you can kill a bear, get a couple headshots, run away if you can, or just once it's shot, it will bleed out eventually and die, so you just keep stalking it. And the closer to the garage, the better, because you've got to carry that meat back. 30 kilograms of raw meat, it's too much for you to carry, so there you go, guys. I hope that was helpful. Sorry if it was a little bit confusing, and if any questions, just let me know. Let me know if I'm wrong, or if there's any further advice you could give for the viewers. If you're an experienced long dark character player, then feel free to add your experience, because I'm not the most experienced player out there. I'm just giving advice from my perspective. I'm not qualified. I completed the challenge and I'm just sharing my advice on how I did it. Other people could have better advice, but we're all here to learn, understand, and get better. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Please leave a like and a comment, and if you're new, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. More long dark footage out soon. and I'll see you in the next one.